So to continue, the inner dialogue that we're touching on is the inner dialogue that does not necessarily shout loud and clear in your head. Instead, it's one that's going on inside of you that you're feeling. That's the one that we want to get to. But many times when people go into monitoring their thoughts and when they start, going down the steps, sliding down into the rabbit hole on a daily by choice groove, they begin monitoring their thoughts. And unfortunately, what most focus on is on the suppressed things or the things that they said. They'll even start a little weaker, but always good. But they won't dive into the cold ice pool either. But they will monitor their thoughts that they think about others. And they'll also jarble it up a little bit by listening to themselves talking to others. And then they'll go, well, I've improved that. I'm a much more compassionate speaker. Okay. We'll take it all at this point. Everything, anything that we can get. So it's good. It's good. Do that too. But, in terms of what we're covering here, it's about the actual chatter with self. How you talk to yourself, what you think about yourself, how you think you are in relation to the world, who you think you are in relation to the world, the real skinny, that inner dialogue. How are you truly feeling? How much do you give yourself? How much more time do you give yourself to suppress things? Or is a lot of clearing working? And so with all the clearing that's going on, what do you want to say? Do you know how you're going to say it? When you don't have those burdens, those chains, when you've liberated yourself in such a manner? So the inner dialogue goes really, really deep. But it'll start on many levels as far as the seeker, which I don't like the word seeker. I say be guided. Do not seek. If you seek a seeker, ye shall be. Be guided. And in being guided, you will begin to be able to be a guide. You will turn into that guide, actually. Be guided by that inner voice. And so when you do your inner dialogue, so do you see this, that you just thought about yourself as, well, I'm not deserving. Why? Why are you not deserving? Because you are. Just by being alive, you are deserving. Of happiness, you are deserving of it. Just be happy. Now, of the Bentley that you say would make you happy, I don't know. I don't know if you're deserving of that one. I think that's called money. But happiness, yes. You don't have to attach yourself to attract that vibration. You just choose to be it by just choosing to be. So the inner dialogue, the true dialogue, begin not just monitoring it, but contemplating it. Just pick one thought that was so not you. You want to, when we're doing these practices, when we're going into these rabbit holes, we want to go very logical However, using that fuel of emotion, using that knowledge of the emotion so we can find it. Because we're kind of being explorers, not seekers. We're being guided to explore. And it's a very, very beautiful thing. Just think about it as going deeper into self-awareness, finding out more about yourself. And sometimes it's not pretty. But see, that's how, the light and the dark work. The light is that you going into yourself, spreading awareness. That awareness, that you looking into the dark, penetrates the dark and begins to transform it into light. And so your biggest weakness, transformed into light, could be your biggest strength. And how it transforms is through your awareness, through the light piercing the darkness. But back to the real, be very compassionate with yourself, non-judgment. When you do this, you have to have non-judgment, because the more non-judgment you have with yourself, the more comfortable you will get in being yourself, in listening to yourself. And you'll get even more stuff to contemplate. But this also reflects in the outer world. The more comfortable you are with yourself, the more comfortable others are with you. The more open they will be. It's always two. It's always two. We're in duality. That's duality. So go in deeper into that, and don't be afraid. Sometimes you'll think, wow, I'll never forget when I, felt this, thought this. And I didn't, of course, but you carried it. You created your own karma with that guilt. You still carry it. And that's an inner dialogue going on that slows down your energy, that really builds up weight, sluggishness for those into chakras. So listen to what you suppress. Definitely, you'll find yourself at first listening more so to what you say to others. But that's not what we're looking for. But it's good that you're in awareness. Now listen to what you're thinking as you're saying what you say to others, or as you're listening to them. And then take it deeper and deeper. Until you get to those things that are not in words, but are very inner dialogue and feelings. Non-judgment, compassion. Make yourself more comfortable with yourself. Don't freak yourself out. And don't go easy on yourself as far as, yes, you got to keep going. If you keep discovering things about yourself that you may not like, that you can't believe, maybe some people will find that in deep introspection, they are very self-loathing, and how they're so self-loathing, and how they're so fearful, and how they find themselves so undeserving, and how that springs from this and that, from hating what they've done, and, rising above that, but knowing that even though they don't, let's say, fight anymore or argue anymore, that they still hold that excess energy, and that not being in angry situations is almost boring to them. So yes, it's good to find out so that they get out of that boredom, so that they actually start living as that which they are, instead of, only living in arguments. So it's good. It's good to have introspection, because then and only then can you change things like that. So go from living a good life to living a better and a life as yourself.